There is a law as old as life itself. Power retreats from the reckless tongue and flows toward the disciplined mind. In every age, among every culture, the truly powerful, whether kings, creators, leaders, or builders, understood the sacred value of silence. They knew that strength grows not from noise, but from quiet, deliberate cultivation. In the presence of others, the wise man does not announce his weaknesses, his fears, or his doubts. He withholds them, not from a place of deception, but from a profound understanding that what is exposed too soon is easily attacked, misunderstood, or destroyed. When a man speaks too freely of his fears, he scatters the forces that should be concentrated toward his victory. The very act of exposing weakness invites outside forces to press against it. Nature herself punishes the vulnerable. The wounded animal, separated from its pack, becomes prey not because it is seen, but because it is exposed. So too with the human spirit. When you reveal the wounds within your own heart to the wrong company, you announce to the world where you can be hurt, where you can be delayed, and where you can be defeated. Every word uttered about one's own shortcomings creates a ripple that expands beyond the speaker's imagination. It reaches ears that may not be sympathetic, hearts that may not be pure, and minds that may unconsciously or deliberately use that weakness against you. The power to succeed demands protection, not exposure. It requires that you guard your inner sanctuary with the utmost vigilance. The builder of dreams must remember that not every stone is laid in public view. The foundation, the truest, strongest part of any structure, is buried beneath the surface, invisible to the eye, protected from the storms. Only the superficial parts are left exposed, and they are built upon the hidden strength below. Likewise, your weaknesses, your moments of uncertainty, your private struggles are part of your foundation. They are not meant to be paraded or displayed. They must be transformed, solidified, and strengthened in the solitude of your own mind. There are those who mistake silence for weakness. They imagine that if a man does not confess his fears, he is arrogant or blind. Nothing could be further from the truth. The silent man is not unaware of his challenges. He simply understands the dangers of voicing them too freely. He knows that confession is not a cure, that speaking of a weakness does not eliminate it, but often magnifies it. He seeks not pity, not validation, but strength, and strength is built in privacy through discipline and focused effort. There is another profound truth known to those who rise to great heights. Words are seeds. Every spoken word plants an idea either in your own mind or in the minds of others. When you speak often of your weaknesses, you water those seeds, encouraging them to grow into obstacles that will choke your progress. Speak instead of your vision, your determination, your commitment to overcome. Let the energy of your words build fortresses of strength rather than dungeons of fear. Observe the truly great, the men and women who move the world by the sheer force of their will. You will find that they seldom speak of defeat. They do not spend their precious breath narrating the battles they fear they might lose. Rather, they direct their conversation, their imagination, and their entire being toward victory. Victory lives in the mind long before it is seen by the eyes, and it is guarded there by silence. If you would command your destiny, you must first command your tongue. Let no man or woman draw from you a confession of weakness. Let no situation provoke you to spill the contents of your heart into hands unworthy of holding it. There are seasons for counsel and times for guidance, but even then, choose carefully those to whom you reveal your inner world. Select only those proven by loyalty, wisdom, and strength, and even then, share only what is necessary for your own advancement. The immature mind seeks attention through confession, believing that vulnerability will win favor or sympathy. But the mature spirit understands that every word carries energy, and energy must be preserved for the work ahead. You are not required to explain your doubts, to parade your fears, or to lay bare your struggles before the court of public opinion. Your duty is to yourself, to your mission, to the quiet, patient, unwavering construction of your future. There is no virtue in proclaiming weakness. There is virtue in transforming it, and transformation demands privacy, patience, and silence. When you speak unnecessarily of your hardships, you reinforce them in your mind. When you hold them in the furnace of silence, you temper them like steel until they become tools of your triumph rather than marks of your suffering. Silence is not merely the absence of speech. It is the presence of control. It is the mastery of emotion. It is the declaration that you govern your own mind and that no external influence will steer you away from your purpose. Those who can remain silent under pressure, who can withhold their inner struggles even when the world demands a display, are the ones who possess the true seat of power. The river cuts through the rock, not because of noise, but because of persistence. The oak stands against the storm, not because it shouts its strength, but because its roots are deep and silent beneath the earth. So it is with the individual who seeks greatness. Your victories are not born from announcements. They are born from endurance, from resilience, from the silent battles you fight and win within yourself. Self-mastery is the cornerstone of true success. It is not a trait that comes naturally to most, nor is it easily cultivated, for it requires a level of discernment that only those who are determined to rise above mediocrity can develop. The path to mastery is not a loud one. It is often a quiet, deliberate journey marked by choices made with care, restraint, and above all, discretion. There are many who believe that to succeed, one must expose every part of themselves, to share every thought, every ambition, and every fear. They mistakenly think that transparency brings clarity, and that by opening themselves to the world, they invite the right opportunities and the right people into their lives. They do not realize that the opposite is true. True mastery, the kind of mastery that leads to lasting success, demands that you hold your thoughts, your emotions, and your intentions with the utmost care. Self-mastery requires discretion because not all things are meant to be shared, and not all thoughts deserve to be spoken. When a person chooses to speak without discretion, they not only diminish their own value, but they also invite confusion, misunderstanding, and distraction into their lives. When you are constantly revealing every step you take, every thought you have, you place yourself at the mercy of others' judgments, opinions, and criticisms. In doing so, you lose the very control you seek to maintain over your own destiny. It is the master who understands the value of restraint. He knows that power is not in the outward expression of every internal thought, but in the careful, measured action that follows the reflection and refinement of those thoughts. Mastery is found in the ability to choose when to speak and when to remain silent. It is found in the ability to discern when a conversation is productive and when it is simply noise. The master knows that every word spoken is a seed planted in the minds of others, and so he chooses those seeds carefully, knowing that they will grow into beliefs, actions, and consequences that will shape his life. The individual who is ruled by impulse, by a desire to be seen and heard, is often the one who never achieves greatness. They are the ones who speak of their dreams prematurely, exposing them to ridicule and doubt before they have had a chance to take root and grow. They are the ones who share their weaknesses openly, giving others ammunition to undermine their confidence and resolve. They speak of their fears, not realizing that in doing so, they amplify them, allowing them to take on a life of their own. The result is a life filled with distractions, setbacks, and frustrations. Instead of achieving their goals, they are bogged down by the weight of others' expectations, judgments, and unsolicited advice. On the other hand, the truly self-mastered individual understands that discretion is one of their greatest tools. They know that not everyone deserves access to their innermost thoughts, that not every person is worthy of knowing their deepest desires, their plans, or their struggles. The master chooses whom to confide in and when, carefully selecting those who have proven themselves to be trustworthy and capable of supporting their vision. By doing so, they protect their energy and their focus, ensuring that their momentum is never slowed by the distractions of those who cannot see their purpose clearly. This level of discretion is not about building walls or shutting oneself off from the world. It is about recognizing that some things are sacred and deserve to be protected until they are strong enough to withstand the forces of doubt, negativity, and distraction. The master understands that their greatest strength lies not in the sharing of their vulnerabilities, but in the refinement of their character and vision. They know that by cultivating their inner strength in silence, by protecting their dreams from the prying eyes of those who cannot yet see their potential, they allow those dreams to grow into something far more powerful than they could have been had they been exposed too soon. Self-mastery through discretion also extends to the way one controls their emotions. Many people allow their feelings to dictate their actions, speaking out of anger, frustration, or fear. They react impulsively, without thought or reflection, and in doing so, they lose control over their own actions and the way they are perceived. The self-mastered individual, on the other hand, understands that emotions are powerful, but they must be controlled and channeled for positive effect. They know that what is said in the heat of the moment often leads to regret, and that it is better to pause, reflect, and choose their words carefully than to act impulsively and risk losing their influence or their reputation. Discretion also plays a critical role in the way one approaches their goals. It is tempting to share every idea, every plan, every ambition with others, in the hopes of receiving approval or support. Yet, this very act often dilutes the energy and power behind the goal. When you expose your dreams prematurely, you invite opinions that may not align with your vision. These external voices can create doubt and confusion, preventing you from fully committing to the path you have chosen. By keeping your goals close to your chest, you allow them to grow in strength, free from the interference of those who cannot see them as clearly as you do. The self-mastered individual has the discipline to wait until their plans are fully realized before revealing them to others. They have the courage to pursue their vision in silence, even when the road is unclear and the future uncertain. This discretion is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is the mark of someone who understands that true success is built in private, in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Only when the vision is complete, when the goal has been achieved, does the master allow the world to see what they have created. Through discretion, the self-mastered individual not only protects their inner world, but also strengthens their outer world. By keeping their emotions in check, their goals guarded, and their plans private, they ensure that nothing will divert them from their purpose. They understand that mastery is not simply the ability to act with skill. It is the ability to act with wisdom, to know when to speak and when to remain silent. To this is the foundation of lasting